Any classical book of fiqh, if you pick it up, there's a chapter in that book of fiqh called Babul Hiba. In Kitab al-Buyu', in the book of transactions, exchanging and transactions and things like that, there will oftentimes be a chapter on Babul Hiba. Hiba means a gift. The book on gift giving. There's a fiqh to giving gifts. Like, wow, seriously, you got to make wudu before you give a gift? No, that's not what it means. It means just what issues could come up in terms of exchanging gifts. The biggest issue that chapter usually, it's not a very lengthy chapter, the biggest issue that it focuses on is ar-ruju' fil hiba. Ar-ruju' fil hiba. Taking a gift back. That's the biggest issue that this book deals with. Taking a gift back. I'm going to go ahead and give you the general ruling. There's a lot of specific discussions about very, very specific scenarios, which are not relevant here. The general overwhelming ruling, meaning for 99% of cases, it is not permissible to take a gift back once given. When you said, here you go, here's a gift for you, that's it. You don't take it back. There's legal reasons. Because there's an issue called tamlik. When you make somebody else the owner of something, you transfer ownership, it belongs to them now. That's that. When you said, this is for you, and that person says, Jazakumullah khairan, thank you very much, I accept your gift, and they take it into their hand, it now legally belongs to them. Done. There's spiritual reasons for this as well. And the reason why it's impermissible in 99% of cases to take a gift back, the fundamental evidence for that ruling, for such an overwhelming ruling, is because there's a very clear hadith from the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ says in a narration, he says, "Ar-raji'u fi hibatihi, ar-raji'u fi hibatihi, kar-raji'i fi qay'ihi." If you speak Arabic, by this time you're already cringing. الراجع في هبته كالراجع في قيئه. The Prophet of Allah ﷺ says, somebody who takes a gift back, after giving somebody a gift, somebody who goes and takes it back from that person, is like somebody who swallows their own vomit. Somebody who swallows their own vomit. Now there's different levels of this, and if you think I'm just being gross for the sake of being gross, I'm not. The scholars of hadith have talked about this. Whether it's talking about you kind of vomit it into your mouth and then just kind of swallowed it back like, right? That's one level. There are more explicit narrations which actually talk about ya'kulu qay, like literally aklul qay, which means that no, it actually was vomited out of the mouth and then that person eats it back up again. That's a very gross image, isn't it? Be very honest. Isn't that disgusting? It is. The Quran gives a few examples like this. When the Quran talks about backbiting is like eating the flesh of your dead brother, that's scary. Try to ever visualize somebody sitting there and eating like the flesh of their dead biological sibling. That's terrifying. That's Hannibal Lecter stuff. That's scary. So get the mental image of somebody actually sitting there eating their own vomit. It's terrible. You know why the Prophet ﷺ would say something so vile and gross and disgusting? Because he wants us to understand that taking a gift back is even more gross, is even more repulsive, is even more disgusting than somebody sitting there and eating their own vomit. I didn't want to go here, but it's mentioned in hadith, so I'll go ahead and mention it here just for our benefit. There's even a more explicit narration in which the Prophet ﷺ says that somebody who takes a gift back after giving somebody a gift is like a dog that vomited and then is sitting there lapping up, licking up its own vomit. Think about how gross that image is. And then think about the fact that somebody who takes a gift back is even more disgusting and vile than that animal that is licking up its own vomit. Think about that. Because of this right here, you're not allowed to take a gift back once you give it. Spiritually, it's repulsive. And there are narrations which even talk about the evil effect that it has on a person's heart and how it's a very, very terrible, terrible, very evil, bad thing to do is to take a gift back from someone, from anyone. Now, the reason why I mentioned this, now it's like, where did we end up here from? We were talking about family. It was nice, it was pleasant. Now all of a sudden you're talking about dogs licking up their own vomit. As mentioned in the hadith, Reason why I mentioned this. There's one major scenario in which a gift can be taken back. There's one major scenario, let me correct myself, sorry. There's one major scenario in which not only can a gift be taken back, but the Prophet ﷺ commanded that the gift must be taken back. Think about that. If the Prophet ﷺ prohibited taking gifts back so emphatically that he said taking a gift back is like eating your own vomit, don't you dare ever take a gift back. But there's one scenario in which he said you must take the gift back. That means it must be a very serious situation. What is that one scenario? Nu'man bin Bashir radiyallahu anhuma. Nu'man bin Bashir radiyallahu anhuma is a very illustrious companion of the Prophet ﷺ. He has narrated hundreds of hadith from the Prophet ﷺ. He was actually known as a very good student of the Prophet ﷺ. The Sahaba were all students of the Prophet ﷺ, but you know how you have some people that are very academically inclined? He was a very academically inclined student. Like he was very genius, he was brilliant. He was a genius. So he used to keep company with the Prophet ﷺ a lot. He would memorize a lot of hadith from the Prophet ﷺ. And not only that, but the Prophet ﷺ used to trust him a lot too. And he would oftentimes, when he needed somebody to take care of a very important task, to run an errand, he would send Nu'man bin Bashir radiallahu anhu. So Nu'man radiallahu anhu, his father, whose name was Bashir, who was also a Sahabi radiallahu anhu, was very proud of this son. He had a few kids, he had a few children. But he was especially proud of Nu'man radiallahu anhu. Why? Because he was so close to the Prophet ﷺ. He was one of the star students of the Prophet ﷺ. So obviously as a father he was very proud of that. So what he decided to do was, one day he comes, I'll tell you this way, he came to the Prophet ﷺ one day and he said, he said salam to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, how's Nu'man doing? And the Prophet said, mashallah, he's doing a good job, I can always depend on him, I can always rely on him, he's doing great, mashallah, you have a great son, etc., etc. And he said, yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm very proud of him, very happy, that he's in your service and he learns from you, etc., etc. And he goes, and because of all of this, because of how great he's doing and how well he serves you, O Messenger of Allah, I gave him a very expensive gift. I gave him a very expensive gift. Like I hooked him up. Bought him a brand new car. I bought him a very expensive gift, O Messenger of Allah. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of course, being the Messenger of Allah, being the ultimate teacher, the ultimate murabbi, the ultimate imam and scholar and teacher, the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew the family. And he knew he had other children, that Nu'man had siblings. He asked him, he goes, let me ask you something. He goes, did you also buy a very nice expensive gift for your other kids as well? He was like, no. No, I didn't. I mean, Nu'man's the superstar student. So I bought it for him, not for the other ones. They're all right. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you have two options here. And remember, when the Prophet ﷺ says something, it's law. It's sharia. The Prophet of Allah ﷺ said you have two options here. Number one, either you go and you buy the rest of your children a similar very expensive gift. He said, O Messenger of Allah, one narration actually says, he said, O Messenger of Allah, I'm not a wealthy man, I can't afford to do that. I can't go buy all my kids a new car. So he said, then you go, you are obligated to take that gift back from your son. He might be a little hurt right now, but the damage that you would cause by giving him this very expensive gift and not showing similar generosity and kindness to your other children will be far worse. Because old man, you're going to be gone one day. And then they're going to hate each other for the rest of their lives. So then you go and you take this gift back from Nu'man. This was your mistake. Yes, your son is going to look at you with sadness in his eyes. And he's probably going to cry and he's going to be very sad. But it's your mistake and you got to go and fix it now. So we see the very practical nature of the advice that Islam provides in regards to a very simple, very common issue such as sibling rivalry.